Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Thursday Live. This is Denise Arminio, and I am a certified emotion code, body code practitioner, and genius biofeedback practitioner. And I'm here with Connie and Claire, and we're going to work on digestion today. So welcome, everybody. Let's see. Welcome, Barbara. Oh, Barbara, you're here twice. You may echo. But you're not. I just didn't know if you're here twice. We have JJ and Keith and Linda, Marion, Pam, Paola, Renita, Sima, Marie, welcome. You're our volunteer for today. I'm going to turn you on your microphone on in a minute. And Vita, welcome. And Vita, welcome. I know that you've been waiting there for a while, so thank you for being so patient. So we are going to get started in a minute. Let me turn, where are you, Marie? Oh, is your microphone on, Marie? Marie? Right. Can you hear me, Marie?
There's
Hold
no
on.
microphone there, Denise.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm texting her.
I do see her camera going on and off, so maybe she's trying to get through.
Okay. Yes, twice. And I'm getting, okay. Okay, Barbara. Thank you. So sorry, everybody, for being patient. If anybody has any questions, you can add them to the chat. And do we see Marie? It's so weird. I don't know what's happening. Everything. I don't see her on the video either. Do you?
It looks like she's
Oh,
trying to connect with
she's
your
trying
audio.
to connect. Okay. Marie, can you hear? Let me see if I can text her.
She can hear us. Can she put something in chat?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Marie, if you can hear me, can you send it in the chat? If not, I can just kind of start. I know she's trying to connect, but we're working on digestion. So let me just find her in here. And hopefully you could turn your microphone on, Marie. You know what, guys, I'm going to try calling her. Maybe that will work. Oh, I think she's in.
Yay.
Yay. Let me turn her video on too. Where'd she go?
Have a break.
Whoops. Marie, are you here? Ah, there you are. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, how about that?
That works. Now you just
Okay.
need to turn your video back on.
Now it says your video is stopped. I don't know how to do this.
Maybe you don't have the strongest cell connection, but let's start kind of going. I have most of your information and I don't need to see you just yet. I would like to get your image, but if I have to, I'll use your old one. It's always best to have, oh, you unmuted again.
I'm tapping all
okay.
over.
Let's, while
Okay.
your voice is going through, let's capture your, when you say your name. So
Okay,
for everybody, I'm just gonna have Marie state her, when I say begin, I'm gonna have her state her name and repeat the vowels A, E, I, O, U until the
Okay.
end of the 15 seconds.
Right,
You ready?
okay. I'm ready.
Begin.
Marie Allwell, A-E-I-O-U, 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 A-E-I-O-U.
Perfect. Okay, so for those of you that are new with the Genius, after we leave our voice recording, on the bottom left, you can hit the voice harmonics. And what that is it shows you how the Genius translates your recorded voice into a frequency. Now, it is difficult to hear on Zoom. It's a very low pitch, but I will play it anyway. So you may need to turn your volume up a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it. And okay, Marie, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Okay, great. I wasn't sure. And if, can you not turn your video on? Maybe you don't have enough bandwidth to turn it
You
on.
know what? I'm afraid to move. And it says your video is stopped on my.
Okay, I'll use your picture that I have. So now I'm just going to hit next that we have the voice. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and we're going to hit continue. And here's your picture. And I'm just going to hit begin analysis here. Of course, it's always better to use a picture from that day, but we're just making do with what we have right now.
Okay.
Is there an affirmation you'd like to use?
Yes, for peace and love throughout the world.
Okay. Okay. So I already have the libraries added for you, but anybody who's on a trial basis or just has the basic version of the Genius, you won't see this banner for libraries. You'll just see biofield, body, and mind, and that is correct. So you have everything, working as it should. So now I'm just going to hit begin analysis down on the bottom. And we just can hit OK here. So the Genius will order the different topics, body, mind, biofield, in the order of priority, meaning where the Genius has found the most energetic disturbances. So Marie, the Genius is telling us that and most of your energetic disturbance is in the body area. I also do want to point out that the Genius uses a number system that goes from 0 to 777. And there are different ranges that are represented by the different colors of blue, green, yellow, and red. So the number range between 0 and 100 is represented by the color blue. And that we typically observe to be more chronic energetic disturbances. So you've had them for a longer period of time. And it's also in Chinese medicine would refer to it as like stagnant energy. Then the next range would go from 101 to 450, and that is represented by the color green. And then from there we go to the number range from 451 to about 688, and that's represented by the color yellow. And then lastly, we go to 689 to 777, and that's represented by the color red. Now, typically when we do balances, or if you do a quick balance, the Genius will run the red and blue frequencies. However, when we want to focus on a specific area, we often add all the values above 600, which would encompass some of the yellow, and below 200, which would include some of the green. And that's because we found that when we add those to the main hold tray, often those yellows and greens may show up as high, because in the main hold tray, when the Genius runs that balance, it's looking at all the items in relationship to each other. So I hope that makes sense. And then on the left, we can see the down arrows, and that's just telling us that we can go deeper by clicking on the line or on the yellow. So for example, if I click on the line for herbs, we then get to see all the different herbs that are in that topic of herbs. I'm going to scroll down right now to aura, just so that we can get your aura picture. And it's as easy as hitting begin analysis on the bottom. Oh, and Marie, that is such a lovely aura. I'm not sure I want to do anything right now. You've been doing good work.
Well, thank you. I still need help.
I know. Well, for everybody that's here, we're going to work, as I said, we're going to work with digestion, but we're also going to work with digestion using Entangled Insight. So that's not something that we do every week. So hopefully we'll get to dive a little deeper, and you'll get to learn something new that we don't always use.
Denise, the other thing is that besides digestion, what's really giving me trouble is my balance.
Okay.
I don't know how that comes up.
Well,
you know,
hopefully that will get addressed, but the focus today is on digestion. So we're going to really
Okay.
focus there. And then we can, if it helps with your balance, that's great too.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So the first thing that I always like to do when I'm working with someone is I will work with the minerals. So I'm just going to add them to the main hold tray. And we're just going to run these quickly for about 1 minute. I'm just going to run all of them. And you can see that lithium always sneaks in the highs, or very frequently. Okay, so you had 49% rectification there. That is fabulous. I am also going to go to my libraries quickly and run an analysis, because I also want to add hydration in there. Just to help you better able to take in all the frequencies kind of like priming your body to get ready. Sharon, I can lower my volume. I keep it up because a lot of times the Zoom interferes and then it lowers my voice so you can't hear me. So hopefully that will help. And I'm just going to add all of these. Whoops, there's no red. In. And I'm also going to add in here the the spiritual protection. I always like working with this in the beginning to help clear all these negative energies. So I'm just going to run all of these now again for 1 minute. How you doing, Marie?
I'm doing fine.
In just a minute, when this is done running, I'm going to ask you, what are some of your specific issues with digestion? But just hold off 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, so you had 32% there, and that is also a good percentage. So Marie, why don't you tell me quickly what are some of your symptoms for your digestion?
Well,
issues?
sometimes I have an unpleasant feeling in my stomach area, and then it has, and I don't know whether it's connected, but also it's affecting my bowels a bit, loose bowels.
Okay. All right. So thank you. I mean, do you have any bloating or anything like that, or anything that's measurable right now that you can say like it's on a scale of 0 to 10 or?
I don't think so. I don't have any pain as such. It's just like discomfort in my stomach area, and it's
Okay.
not, it doesn't happen all the time, but I've never had it. This is the first time I've really had any problems like that, and I just wonder if it's what I'm eating. But I mean, I really eat properly. I mean, so I don't know what the connection is.
Okay. But how on a scale of 0 to 10, how do you what is your comfort level with the digestive issues right now?
Oh, I would say
10
about
being like that, like severe.
about a 4.
Okay. All right. So now that we've worked on those few things, I just want to go into the general overview. And the way in which we do that is we click on or touch the system overview. And this is going to give us the expanded version of the system overview, and it is going to order it all in numerical value so that we can see what your top highs and low lows are. So we are seeing here for you that you have some of your meridians points are have energetic disturbances, herbs in general, the Bach flower essence course, then virus in general, vanadium in minerals. And if we hit general overview again, that will bring us the bottom view. And then we see some herbs again, and the kidney meridian point, chakra in general. So in general, we're seeing, some things off. So I'm just going to go over here to the right to the timer. And I'm just going to set it on 1 minute for you. And let's run a quick balance. And the quick balance here is running a lot because it's running all the reds and all the blues in the first system overview page. And that was a 16% rectification. So I would like to see that more, but because we're doing a demo, I'm not going to try to bring that up anymore. I am going to go to the main system overview page, and we'll start collecting different things that are showing up for you. So first, let's look at today's stress. And here we see virus sensitivities, brain immune. I am going to add these in just because this is what you're dealing with today. And I'll add the blue ones in as well. And we can add the ones that are below 200 in value and the ones that are above 600. And I'm also going to just add acid. And then we can look at your spinal energy. And I always like to add spinal energy as well to all my balances. That way we have all the nerve endings from your spine that are communicating with your brain and your brainstem with the vagus nerve, so that you're getting all the messages from your brain. So on the right, you can see all the vertebrae listed in order as they are in your spine. But if we click or tap on high to low, it will show us from highs to low. So I'm going to add again in here the reds and the blues. And I'm going to manually drag and drop the yellows that are above 600 here. Now, if we just look on our charts or in my chart, I can tell you that lumbar 2 has to do with the appendix, abdomen, and thigh, and it harmonizes the spine for cramps, appendicitis, varicose veins, leg pain, and the emotional connection there is not seeing a way out. Old hurts are not released. So I'm not sure if that resonates for you, but it does give us a little bit of insight.
But could you repeat those areas in the lumbards? That you just
Sure,
mentioned?
just let me just add these. I'm just
Okay.
adding the items that are 200 and whoops, 200 and below. So
Okay.
the one I just read which was your top high, was lumbar 2, and that has to do with your appendix, abdomen, and thigh. And it
Okay.
harmonizes the spine for cramps, appendicitis, varicose veins, and leg pain. And the emotional connection there is not seeing a way out, or old hurts are not released. And then cervical 2, the body connection is the eyes, ears, sinuses, tongue, forehead, optic nerve, and auditory nerve. And it harmonizes the spine for sinusitis, ear aches, vision problems, hearing problems. And there could be the emotional connection for resentment and blame. So I'm just going to add those in. And we can then look at, I want to look at digestion here. And I'm going to add just the line in general for digestion, but also I'm going to add all these items in here. And then what I'm going to do, how I'm going to show you with Entangled Insights today is, since we're working specifically on digestion, I'm going to go into each of these items into Entangled Insights. So first I'm going to look at the liver. And so this is like its own separate database that we're looking at right now. So I'm going to click on Load All Insights. And then you see a drop down box. And you could either, there's a ton of different topics in here. So you can either add just one topic or you can add them all. I'm going to add them all. And if you click on check, it will then check all these items in the database and to see which, what the likeliness of these items in the database having an effect on your liver. So now I'm going to drag and drop, and there's probably a lot, but I'm going to drag and drop just the ones that say 100%. And I'm going to bring those into the main hold tray. So just bear with me as I drag and drop each of these. Okay, so now I'm going to go back out. And this could fill up your main hold tray pretty quickly. So I'm going to start with the reds and the blues. But I'd like to add all of them, but we'll see how we do here. So again, once you go in, you can click on or tap on where it says Load All Insights. And I'm going to hit all and then check. Okay, so again, I'm going to add all the 100% here. And you don't really need to know what all these items mean or represent. I mean, can always Google. Whoops, I didn't need that one, so I'm going to send it up. You can Google what they are, but the beautiful thing about the Genius is that you don't have to really have knowledge of all these items, just that you can follow working with the reds and the blues or 100%. So don't be nervous about working with all these different areas, and you can't make a mistake either. So again, I just went into stomach. I'm going to do the same thing and hit all for the database. And remember, these are frequencies. So anything that pops up doesn't mean it's not diagnostic. It just means that those frequencies are out of balance, and that's why they're coming up. So now I'm going to go to small intestine and check these. Whoops. This is a little bit tedious, and to be quite honest, I don't go into entanglements that frequently, but it is nice to use it for sure. There's a lot of information in here. It's just a little bit more time consuming, but you know, when I'm running my scans, I would go into here if I'm having a little bit more difficulty, seeing results, or maybe if we don't have a specific library that we're looking for, this is a nice way to like augment or offset not having something. Let's see, let's do the mouth. And typically the percentage that shows up, what just happened? That you could see this 50%. Most of the time, that's the percentage that I see. I really don't see that getting that much higher than like 51, 52. I don't know, Claire and Connie, if you see that go up, but I think it's basically just saying it has like a 50% probability that these have some effect on what we're looking at.
Yeah,
Claire, would you agree with that?
absolutely. And I generally don't bother with the ones that come up really, really low, because I just feel as though they're not resonating. So,
Right.
yeah.
So I know this is, I'm not doing a lot of talking in here, but there's just a lot of
Groundwork.
exactly. It's a lot of dragging and dropping. But you are covering a lot of ground in here because there's a lot of, again, that the database is really extensive. Okay, and I want to get the large intestine and I guess maybe the gallbladder too. Let's just do that. I'm not going to do every single one, although we've hit a good amount of them in here. And I'm not sure if an item comes up, if it will, if it's come up in a different one, if it will actually add it again. I don't think it will double add it. Right, Claire? I don't think it will.
No. No.
All right, and then we're just gonna.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you get a whole host, 10 to 15, 100%, and then other times
Right.
it starts at 96 or something.
But I mean, let's say like a Bach flower essence name showed up under mouth and then it showed up under the large intestine. I don't think if I dragged and dropped it, it would like enter it twice into the main hold tray is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pam. I didn't think it did, but they don't normally. We're adding a lot in here. Usually if I use the Entangled Insights, I just do it for one item. But I figured today that I would work on the organs of digestion because, oh, I went too far. Whoops. Okay, that's all right. Sorry, I was not multitasking very well there. Okay, so the other thing I want to go back and look at is add we've worked a lot between the general overview and now adding all those different entangled insights. I just want to go down to the bio field here. And I do want to add, I'm going to add all, since 4 of the 7 are out, I'm just going to add them all. But you could also, working on digestion, just work on like the root and sacral chakra, just getting in that lower part of your body. And we want to add the meridians. Again, I would add all these as these were I would add stomach and large intestine, gallbladder, and I always add governing and conception vessel. So we just added, you could go deeper in these and add specific points. I'm not doing that today because we already have 205 items in here, but that could be something that you would want to dig a little deeper and do. Tones, these are frequencies of more spiritual realms, but I always like adding the 528, and I'm just going to add the red and the blue in here. And I'm going to add the aura down below, and sacred geometry, flower of life, Metatron, cube, and we can add the Fibonacci and the platonic solids, and then we could just add these blues down here as well. And the other thing I'd like to add is some of your emotions in here, because trapped emotions are always a cause of dis-ease. And we can add the theta to help you put in a little bit more of a relaxed state while we're running these. Oh, and the other organ that I would like to add in here for you is, actually it's a gland. Where am I? Is your thyroid. And we could add the parathyroid, because the thyroid is responsible for some of the hormones that you need to digest. Okay, so we can just add your Bach flower essences here. I always add them when I add emotions, and I'm just going to add the blues and the reds. And now let's run a scan for you. So we're just going to hit begin analysis. And I'm going to run all for a minute each time, rescanning in between, and then we'll work on your highs. Peter, there have been a lot of solar flares. You can look that up, but a lot of times you can feel tired and just have some malaise and just feeling off because of that. I don't know if that's what's causing it for you, but it is possible. Oh, Claire, you just, I think, put something like that in. Yeah. All right, so you had 45% rectification on that, Marie, so that's great. Now I'm going to go up to the top right and I'm going to rescan. And that's just to see if maybe anything is, we have the probability that 45% is balanced, and now maybe some other things are going to rise to the surface that we can work on. And I'm going to hit all again. So here you can see some of those items that were in the database from entanglements are on the highs. So let's work with those, all those, and on hit play again. How are you feeling, Marie?
Good.
Peter, if it's on 0 minutes and you hit play, it will run until you stop it. And running it is approximately 500 minutes. So it's possible if you let it run without stopping it, if it goes beyond that 500 minutes, it may back out, which you wouldn't then see what your rectification is and how it was running. So always do try to check in before that if you wanted to run it for a longer period of time. Marie, okay, we had 35% rectification again. That's great. And now I'm just going to move it to 3 minutes and hit just high. And now we have stomach meridian fungus, some other, your large intestine meridian. So some other stuff in here that might help in clearing up what's going on with your digestion. Don't forget to stay hydrated and drink water, everybody. How are you doing, Marie?
Good.
Are you finding this helpful using the Entangled Insights, or is it overwhelming you?
Oh, no, I mean, I really appreciate you're doing this because I'm really learning a lot too.
Okay, great.
The other thing I wanted to say is, I don't know whether it's my imagination or not, but this morning my balance was really off. And I just got up and walked around, and there is a little bit of a difference. So I don't know whether that's accurate or not, but
Can you just repeat that? Because it was hard for me to hear. I think you said that your balance feels a little bit better, that you just walked around.
yeah. Because this morning it was just exceptionally, like off balance. I had to like kind of walk around holding onto a chair or something when I pass by, but I just got up and walked around and it seemed to be different, seemed to be better.
Well, that's really good. I'm happy to hear that. I mean, we're touching on a lot. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I'm working on the biofield, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but I'm definitely happy that you are seeing some benefit there. We did have 41% rectification on running all the highs, so that's awesome. Now let's just go back and see what your aura looks like.
Okay.
Again, it looks pretty good here, so it could look not as good right now because we're running a lot of frequencies and they all kind of have to sort of settle and find their way,
Uh-huh.
but
Okay.
okay, so, you know, we see a little bit of grayness around the outside, but we can just go and look and see if we can break that down a little bit. I am going to go to one of my essences and go to the gems, and we're just going to run that on a quick balance for 1 minute.
Okay.
You had any bloating, or you said that you were kind of feeling like a 4 out of 10 where your digestive concerns were. Do you feel those shifting at all?
Well, I don't feel anything now. Sometimes sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I feel not much I mean, I feel a little woozy, but so I don't know whether I don't know whether I'd notice any difference right now.
Okay.
It'll be interesting though if it affects my bowels in any way. That I can determine.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's just go back and check where we're at here.
I have a couple of questions too, if I can ask them later, maybe. I know it's getting later.
Sure, you can ask them. This picture is about, it's, let me just, there we go. Hold on. So it's starting to come back and look its beautiful self. But you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, I just want to say when you do all the rectification and everything,
Mhm.
that doesn't remain permanent, does it? I mean, it can change, like if something else happens. And I guess it related to that is how often do you need to do the frequencies, afterwards? I mean, I know that, it's like twice a day, that kind of thing. But does the fact that it rectifies it, will that make a difference if you do it again?
Okay, those are great questions. Number one, so is it permanent?
Right.
I
that's a
mean,
good
it's aligning, it's balancing it and harmonizing it, but to say that it's permanent, you're still existing and you're encountering different energies and frequencies
Right.
all the time.
Right.
So in order to maintain the integrity of your energy field, the more you do maintenance on your aura and your biofield, the better you can protect yourself from getting out of balance, if
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
If you're, you know, if you're around someone who's having a really bad day and has a lot of negative energy and you're an empath, you could be affected by it. Is it going to, and it, it's like impossible to say what specifically it's going to affect. Also always remember that when we're doing these balances, we're kind of peeling the layers of an onion. So your our body's going to take in the frequencies that it needs, but it may, as you begin to clear, and as I do energy healing myself, your subconscious is only going to let you see what it's ready for. It's not going to like overwhelm you and have you clear too much at one time. So just because things appear harmonized now and then they show up tomorrow, it doesn't mean that you haven't made progress. It's just more is surfacing.
Okay.
So I know that doesn't exactly, maybe, I hope that helps. I mean, it's,
Yeah, that is, are we affected by the whole frequency thing? I mean, so we are affected by those around us or anybody that we encounter or
absolutely, absolutely. And, sometimes, there's the law of attraction. So
right.
what we take on is within us. So it's why we always want to look in and clearing within us, because we're not going to be absorbing it from other people if we're not attracting it ourselves.
Oh,
So,
okay.
it's a good way for us to have awareness and to, somewhat be grateful for all these things that show up, because it tells us where we need to work on,
Right.
within ourselves. So
And it also, we are affected also by ourselves and our own negative thinking, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You want to positive thoughts, think positive, guys, and we hear
Right.
it all the time. But just as we're so affected by having recurring negative thoughts, if you have recurring positive thoughts, it's going to have the same impact.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
always easier to think of, I know for myself what we're doing wrong every day, but if we can remember what it is that we are doing right every day and have gratitude for that all of that stuff will help.
Right.
So
I was just thinking of the whole thing about fear, that with this whole COVID thing, that has really worked havoc, I think. The whole
so
fear thing. Yeah.
absolutely. But the less news and everything, social media is probably best for everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
So how are you feeling? I hope this was helpful. It's a little bit hard when we don't have something that we can really measure. And that's
Right.
why I really like on these demos to be able to measure something. But you did say that your balance got better. So
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
really,
And the
Mhm.
other thing, along with it is I'm learning, that's another thing that I really appreciate hearing you go through this process, because at times, I'm just a beginner, as you probably know, it can be a very overwhelming, and you're always saying you can't make mistakes and things of that sort. But, as a teacher, I want to know what the right thing to do is all the time. So, I guess it takes time to absorb all this, but I try to listen to whatever I can, even with Ariel and yourself. And I try to get as much information as possible. And the more things are repeated, the more it's clear to me. So thank you. I appreciate your information.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And anybody else, if they have any questions, I'm seeing some things come through. Peter, yes, boundaries are important. I agree 100%. And Paola, I'm trying to stop the negative thoughts. Yes, I need to learn how I get bombarded with energies. Yeah, well, shielding helps. Always raising your vibration, right? Peter, connect with source, pray, and get grounded. Yes, grounding is really important too. Hug a tree, walk barefoot outside. So anyway, it's been awesome working with Marie today and talking with everybody. And I hope you've all learned something. And maybe if you felt overwhelmed about working with Entangled Insights before, maybe you'll feel a little less overwhelmed and you'll want to dive in and explore. So with that, I think we're gonna say goodbye for today, and we'll see you next Thursday. And any questions, you can just keep them rolling to me or Claire or Connie. We're all here to help you. So, bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
All righty. Bye-bye.